Monday night's homework. First question, which fractions are equivalent to 1/2? So equivalent means equal. So which one of these fractions would fall halfway through our number line here? So if you look at 1/2, 1 is half of 2. So that rule applies to all of these fractions if they're equivalent to 1/2. So you can do two things. You can cross multiply, or hopefully at this point you're able to analyze these fractions and see which one's equivalent to 1/2 just by looking at them. Okay, so 4/8. 4 is half of 8, which means it's equivalent to 1/2. But if we cross multiply, we can still get the same answer. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 1 is 8. A is equivalent to 1/2. B, 3/8. Well, we just said 4/8 is equivalent to 1/2, so 3/8 probably is not equivalent. 3 times 2 is 6. 8 times 1 is 8. So 1/2 is greater than 3/8. So it's not equivalent. 5/10. 5 is half of 10. So we can cross multiply. 5 times 2 is 10. 10 times 1 is 10. We can see that 5/10 is equivalent to 1/2. 6/12. 6 is half of 12, so that means it's equivalent to 1/2. So let's check. 6 times 2 is 12. 12 times 1 is 12. So you have three answers, A, C, and D. Next question, 174 divided by 4. So when you're solving this, you can use partial quotients or you can use traditional. If you use partial quotients, you'll need to make your little cheat sheet on the side. So 4 times 1, 4 times 2, 4 times 5, 4 times 10, 4 times 20, 4 times 50, 4 times 100. And then you solve all those. 4 times 1 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8, 4 times 5 is 20, and then you keep going with your pattern. So we ask ourselves, how many times can 4 go into 174 without going over? So 4 times 20 is really close because it's 80, but let's try another one. Let's see if 4 times 30 will work. 4 times 3 is 12 with a 1 behind it. All right, let's see if we can go any higher. 4 times 40. 4 times 4 is 16 with a 0 behind it. That works. And here I have 4 times 50, so 4 times 40 is my closest quotient. So 4 can go into 174 at least 40 times. 40 times 4, 160. Subtract that out. 4 minus 0, 7 minus 6. How many times can 4 go into 14? So we can see 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 3 is 12. 4 times 4 is 16. Too high. You can go in 3 times. 3 times 4 is 12. Subtract that out. And you get 2. 4 cannot go into 2, so that's going to be our remainder. So we can add these sidebar numbers up. 43, remainder 2. Now let's say you were solving that traditionally, 174 divided by 4. Cover up all your place values. How many times can 4 go into 1? It can't. How many times can 4 go into 17? 4 times. 4 times 4 is 16. Subtract that out. Bring down your 4. How many times can 4 go into 14? 3. 3 times 4 is 12. And we still get our 43, remainder of 2. Next word problem. Kylie ate 4/12 of her candy bar on Monday and 1/4 of her candy bar on Tuesday. How much of her candy bar was left? So this is a test question, and we're trying to figure out how much did she have left. So this is a multi-step word problem. We have to figure out how much she ate and then how much she had left after she ate it. So I'm going to use this space over here to show the steps of how I would solve this. So I know on Monday she ate 4/12. And Tuesday, she ate 1/4. So I have to combine these to figure out how much she ate in all. That's step one. So I notice they don't have the same denominator, so I need to make them have the same denominator. So I skip count to find my LCD. 4, 8, 12, 12. I can stop there because I'm seeing the relationship they have. So I need to create new fractions where they have the same denominator. My new denominator is 12, so I ask myself, how did I get from 12 to 12? Well, the answer is right here, and I multiply by 1. Whatever I do to my denominator, I have to do to my numerator. This is going to be equivalent to 1 whole, because we know anything times 1 equals itself. So 4 times 1 is 4, which tells me these two fractions are equivalent. Now we're getting from 4 to 12. What do we multiply by? 3. 1 times 3 is 3. So I have to combine these two fractions, 4/12 plus 3/12. When I do that, I keep my denominator the same and add my numerator, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I have 7/12. This fraction represents how much Kylie ate. But that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for how much of her candy bar was left. So I have to take this number and subtract it from the whole candy bar. Well, if it has 12 equal pieces, what would our 1 whole equal? 1 whole would be 12/12. So I subtract the whole from how much she ate to know how much she had left. Denominator stays the same. 12 minus 7. Count up. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There was 5/12 candy bar left. And then I think if that can be reduced, it cannot because the GCF is 1. So how much of her candy bar was left? 5/12. Make sure you have this work shown somewhere. Next question, what expression represents the meaning of 5/6? So how would I read this? I could say 5/6, 5/6, or 5 divided by 6. Which one of these answer choices says 5 divided by 6? It's not B or D. Choose your best answer. Social studies. What document was written by George Mason? Remember, Mason and his last name spell out a clue of what document he wrote, right? Remember the letters that we talked about? So, was it Virginia Statute for Religious Freedom, Constitution, or Virginia Declaration of Rights? Next question, what document was written by James Madison? This document is still around today, and it's for the whole country. What document was written by Thomas Jefferson? So remember, we talked about these letters, how they can match up, and help you remember that.